Blessings guys, 𝐴𝑁𝐺𝐸𝐿𝑂'�'𝑆 with you. Welcome to my channel and my page, and tonight I'm going to talk about one of the most important subjects that a lot of spiritual practitioners talk about on the internet, or we can read a lot of articles about them, and that's called the principle of manifestation. So as we know, of course, we might all know that there's a sense of manifestation, right? That a lot of people to talk about. There are different kind of techniques of manifestation, like 777, 369, 333, and I mean tons of other manifestation techniques that we've heard about or that we can hear about on the internet. But there's one big thing that we do forget about it, and of course I always talk about the universal laws. Why? Because the universal law is always important to remember, in the sense of that there are certain universal laws that work, and thanks to those universal laws we are able to attract what we want to attract, and that's how manifestation really works. In other words to say, let me bring you an example. One of the first principles of manifestation is that there needs to be the energy of intention. If there's no energy of intention, if you don't have the energy of intention included into the manifestation technique, then you can be sure that unfortunately it might take you a lot longer time or a lot of more efforts to be able to manifest what you want into your life. So, but there is really quite easy three main principles of manifestation, how you can actually make the manifestation rituals work for you. And but again, before we jump into those three main principles, we also need to remember that there must be a first and the most important principle of universe included into this rituals, and this is the principle of intention. When you have an intention, when you do include the energy of intention into the manifestation techniques, then you can be sure that your manifestation desires and your manifestation techniques will definitely work out for 100%. So the first and the most important thing is, of course, the energy of intention. We should not forget about it, and every time when you work with something, when you work with the manifestational or universal powers, you got to remember about the energy of intention, just like in everything else we do in life. If there's no intention, then there's no plan. If there's no plan, then there's no action. If there's no action, of course, there's no results. So this is how it works in the physical, materialistic world, but this is exactly the same kind of basis that work behind the spiritual practices as well. So coming to that, as I said to you, as I mentioned, the energy of manifestation of intention is very important in manifestation. Now we can move on to the next main principles. So let me now tell you why and how those principles work, and how we can actually achieve what we want and ask what we want from the universe and request it, and be able to get it in the shortest period of time. So for this case, for this specific situation, what I would like to talk about is that, imagine this. Let's say that you are a spiritual person, or you're a religious person, or you are interested into the Wicca or any other spiritual practices, like even the magic spells, right? Because if you think about it, all of these things are coming from the same source of the higher self and the subconscious mind, which is in lots of different cultures, as I mentioned before in my other videos, is considered the zone of the god. So imagine it this way. You want something to happen, and if you're a Christian, let's say that you resort to the religious Christian egregor, and you go to the church, you buy your candle, you get on your knees, or you just sit down there and start doing and making your prayers, right? And then at this point, after you do your prayers, you ask God to hear you out and to give you what you want Him to give you. Basically, like, it's basically the same ritual of the manifestation. The same things are usually done, the same steps are usually done in doing the magic spells. And the same things are usually done almost like in the rituals of manifestation. But there's a very big difference in there. You cannot expect the universe to respond to you immediately or in the shortest period of time when your intention is not strong enough, as I said earlier. So which means that when even the prayers that you make or even the spells that you make are only done once, No, there needs to be, just like with any kind of sense of the discipline, there needs to be the sense of discipline and the sense of repetitive patterns, repetitiveness. And because of this repetitiveness, guess what? It is more likely guaranteed that you will be able to achieve exactly what you want to achieve. So let's say that if I, let's say, go to the church, if I'm Christian or from Muslim, or like to the mosque or a synagogue and pray to God once and then just forget about it. No, this is not how it's working, because you're not putting a lot of effort. You're not putting enough energy, effort, and intentional energy into the situational ritual itself. So that's why it's just kind of a one-way go, to be honest with you. It's like, yeah, you can do it just once, but you may not be expecting the results to come to you as soon as possible. But when there is repetitive kind of action is taken over and over again, because don't forget about the energy of intention. We need to make sure that the information reaches our subconscious mind. And usually it takes from 21 days, beginning from 21 days, the information starts really getting into your subconscious mind. So that's why the repetitive efforts are really important in the sense of the manifestation. Because everything, again, is coming from the subconscious mind, don't forget. Even like, let me just bring you a very easy example, right? Very just basic example. Let's say that when we read books or when we watch reels on the Instagrams, right? Yeah, some of the reels can be really interesting. They can last up to 30 seconds or 1 minute. But you cannot expect that good information that you saw in those reels to be stored in your subconscious mind, because 30 seconds and 1 minute is not just simply enough for that. But then you can also take the same kind of very useful information from books. And guess what? Books are much more efficient and effective. Why? Because at this point, the information that you get from the books, they are stored in your subconscious mind, because not only you're putting time in it, but you're also putting effort. And when you're reading the book, your imagination works like in your own way, creating those images, creating those symbolism that is being deeply stored in your subconscious mind. So here's just a basic example of how it works. You know, the more repetitive and the more effort you're putting into your, let's say, manifestation rituals or into your manifestation desires, the more you're more likely going to be able to understand how it works and the principle behind it. So the next thing also, where is it all coming from? How the manifestation works? Of course, manifestation is deeply related. It's deeply related to our subconscious mind, as I said. So imagine that. Now let me just give you this example about the subconscious mind so you can understand what I mean by saying is that. I'm going to bring you two examples. One is going to be quite positive, another one can be a little bit negative, but at the same time they're both kind of relevant. So let's say that subconscious mind is the place or is the area where all the experience and all the potentials and blockages of your ancestors have been stored on your subconscious mind, okay? So let's say that if your grandfather was a great painter and he had a great gift of being able to paint, or he was a great artist and he had a great ability of being able to see art like exceptionally well, but your parents might not have had that gift, but that gift could have easily been passed on to you. Why? Because this is something that is stored in basically DNA, and this is also something stored that in the subconscious mind. So the same thing we can say about bad habits like alcoholism, right? For example, like the medical industry says that alcoholism is also deeply related to DNA, but it's also deeply related to the subconscious mind. Let's say that one of our ancestors could be an alcoholic, and he might have been a really smart person, but unfortunately suffer from alcoholism. Our parents may not suffer from it, but at the same time, it can come back 3 or 4 generations later. So it's another proof that actually there's a sense of subconscious mind, and all the blockages and all the kind of potential that we carry, all coming from the subconscious mind so far. So once we understand these little principles about the principle of intention as well as the principle of manifestation, and about how it works and how our subconscious mind works, then at the end of the day, we are being able to understand what we should do in order to be able to actually start manifesting things that we want to manifest. So again, now let's go to the most important part of the video. The manifestation principles. There are three main principles of manifestation. Three main principles. The first of them is, of course, the energy of intention, as I said, and the energy of intention, which is also the manifestation, a part of the manifestational system, is divided into 8 sections. Well, you can read about it again below this video. Under my video, you can see, I'm gonna leave that information there. So those are 8 important principles of manifestation that you need to keep up with, learn and turn into your habits, so that you can kind of prepare yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually to the manifestation ritual itself. The second thing, of course, the second principle is the manifestation ritual, the one that we choose, the one that aligns with us the most intuitively. And once we choose that ritual and intuitively align it with ourselves and our desire, let's say that there are different techniques of manifestation. For me, for example, the 777 technique sounds very, very kind of aligned, because in numerology, I know that 7 is my number, and I think that this can add some sort of subconscious and energetical kind of adds on to it, you know? Like, again, for me. For you, you can choose any other systems that you want. Again, I'm going to leave some of the examples of the systems under the video that you can actually see them. And the last one, which is one of the most important thing, and of course, about taking action. We cannot just manifest and sit home and do nothing and just wait for the universe to hear us and just give us what we want. No. And here, as a spiritual life coach, I included one of the system of life coaching, which is called SMART model, or SMART system. So bringing this all three principles together, but again, with the principle of intention, which is coming the first, and then all other 3 main principles together, we are able actually to start like attracting the real energy. We're able to start to attract the energy of the universe and to kind of manifest things that we want to manifest. Again, if you'd like to gain more information about it, and if you'd like to have your personal session about and find out more about the manifestation powers and the systems and models of manifestation, even though I'm going to leave some examples under this video, you can also feel free to reach out to me to create your personalized system of manifestation, and which can help you actually to manifest things that you want to achieve in your life. It was really nice, again, having this little vlog tonight. You know, the weather is perfect and beautiful. Look at the sky in Brooklyn. I think it's just beautiful. So I really enjoyed every moment of making this vlog, and I hope that this vlog can be somehow helpful for you. But of course, this is only one of the vlogs about the manifestation techniques or manifestation principles that I'm making. There will be a lot more to come. Thanks for your attention, and stay blessed, guys. Good night.